Today's video is all about the Monk Tank build guide. Now, this is the Act 1 edition. I'm going to be covering levels 1 through 7. I know you can get to level 8 in Act 1 if you do every quest and kill lots and lots of things, but most players will not reach level 8, they will reach level 7, so that's what this video will cover. I'm going to go over the build, how to level it, how to respec it once you unlock in-game potions, which you can do as early as level 6, and how to gear it as you go through Act 1, where to go, how to optimize the routes, what is the best gear to equip for this build in Act 1. Let's go. Now, you can make your own character and have this build. You can have any character in the game run this build as well. I personally use Shadowheart in the story for this build. Let me go over it. So, level 1 is Cleric. You're going to go Sacred Flame, Guidance, Produce Flame as your cantrips. And then you're going to go with Nature Domain, and the reason why is because it gives you heavy armor and a shield, and I know that there are purists out there that think that monks should never wear heavy armor or shield, and in D&D, that's true. However, this is Baldur's Gate, and you are heavily itemized and incentivized to wear heavy armor and a shield. It makes the game super easy, and there are no downsides. You may be thinking, well, what about movement speed? What about my armor class with dexterity? And you don't have to worry about that because the gear you get is far superior to just going unarmored. And as far as movement speed goes, we have camp casting buffs to easily negate those, downsides, as well as items in Act 1 that will have you being able to run all the way across the battlefield and slap people in the face. So this is the level 1 stats that you're going to use, and at level 6, when we unlock in-game potions, we will respec out of that 16 strength. Here is the remaining levels. At level 2, you will go Monk, and if you can't multi-class, you have to raise the difficulty higher than Explore. You can always switch it back once you level up, and the game will allow you to keep that multi-class. Then, at level 3, you will also go Monk. Level 4, you're also going Monk. Way of the Open Hand. Level 5 is also Monk with Tavern Brawler. Level 6 is also Monk, and level 7 is Monk. So at level 7, you have the 1 level in Cleric, so that you can wear the heavy armor and the shield, and then everything else goes into Monk, and you're going Way of the Open Hand. It's really easy to follow. Now, when you reach level 6, you're going to respec your stats. You're still going to follow the same class path, but you don't need Strength anymore. You don't need any points into Strength, so you can pump it all into Dex, Constitution, and Wisdom. And the reason we do Wisdom is because later on, your punches will do elemental attacks, or elemental damage of sort. That's Radiant, Necrotic, or Psychic. Not really technically elemental, but it's still extra damage. And it scales off Wisdom, so that's why we're doing Wisdom. Also, if you want to know how to craft the in-game potions as early as level 6 on my channel, I have a video that looks just like this. It's titled Advanced Potion Crafting Made Easy. Scroll right down here to the description, and there will be a link to it under Tips and Tricks. So yeah, just go check that out, and that will teach you how to get a 27 strength boosting elixir that lasts the entire day. You can see here Shadowheart stats, 27 strength, alright? And because we're going to have Tavern Brawler once I level her up again, she is going to be doing bonus damage with her punches, with Strength, with Dex, and with Wisdom. So she has 3 damage modifiers right there, and she's built like a freaking tank. And I'm going to go over it now, how all this works, and where to get the gear. But before we do that, let's just talk about the leveling. So, you're going to start her as a Cleric, as she normally does in the story. And at level 2 is when you unlock Monk, but at this point, it's still better for you to simply just swing whatever strong weapon you might have. And then at level 3, again, she's still not going to be fully monkified. You're going to put the levels into Monk, but she still won't be better off attacking with her fists, not yet. Now, around level 4 is when things change. Around this part of the story, you're going to have an item that is going to enable you to deal more damage with your fists. And so at this point, we go Way of the Open Hand, and then you drop your weapon forever. You never use a melee weapon ever again with Shadowheart or whoever you choose as your monk. And of course, for your feat, you're going Tavern Brawler, and then you put the point into Constitution. So now you have that 16 Constitution. That's why we left it at 15 earlier on, because even numbers gives you the ability modifier. Alright, so level 6, it starts getting really crazy with that extra attack. And then level 7 is the huge power spike. Right before you leave Act 1, you'll be level 7. And this is where you get the amazing subclass feature of dealing bonus damage with Radiant, Psychic, or Necrotic damage, which you have. Don't forget to turn it on. Go over here to your passives and then pick one. So right now, Slow Fall, we got that automatically activated. I like doing Radiant damage, so there we go. And now we can punch incredibly hard many times, especially if we're hasted or you have a Bloodlust elixir, which I don't recommend. I recommend the elixir of Cloud Giant Strength. Let's get to items. No, let's not get to items yet. Let's show off just how wicked, crazy sick this build is. So before I show off the items, I just summoned a zombie to punch. And so when combat starts, she's going to have so much movement speed, she's going to be able to close the gap with anybody. But she will punch. And then she has a bonus action of a punch. And then she has a key bonus action, which you can just use on arm strike. Look at that damage, 21 to 29 base. Alright. But also, you can do Flurry of Blow. This is level 7. These Flurry of Blows hits multiple times. Look at that. Like, you're hitting for 58, up to 58 damage, right? It gets stupid, sick, disgusting, ridiculous. But at the same time, she is an incredibly tanky person. And this is without, like, I'm not even going to show the full, the full AC here. But right now, she's sitting at 22 armor class. We can buff that up to 24 if we want to with the concentration. So, nothing can hit you in Act 1. She will be the last man standing against any targets. She can't be disarmed because she's a puncher. She has a ranged option, which I'll go over later. She has ways to restore her ki through items. She is just amazing. Like, this is one of the most broken Act 1 builds ever. What's her movement speed here? Now, this shows only 9, but when I buff her with Long Strider, which she doesn't seem to have here, her movement speed will be way higher. Alright, so she's going to start combat with 15 meters movement speed, but then she will also get an additional 4.5 meters of movement speed, and then with another item, she will be able to use a bonus action to double that move speed. So she can basically move 40 meters every turn. Well, the first turn, and the second and third, she loses a tiny bit of speed, but she's going to be able to move everywhere, and she's going to be able to jump further than everyone else with that elixir. It's just nuts. It's crazy, and she can't be hit. She hits incredibly hard, and technically she has healing and support spells because of that level 1 cleric as well. So here's how my guides work. I make guides for me, a future version of myself, that forgets everything about the game. So most guides are just going to show you all the items and talk about them for a little bit, and then that's the guide. And I hate doing that. Instead, I'm going, for people that know the game, I'm just going to show you the items now. Here's the items. This is the items that you get in Act 1 for Shadowheart. So if you know where these items are, you know how to get them, you're done with the video, the guide's over. For everyone else, I'm going to show you and give you tips and tricks on how to acquire all of these in a more efficient and elaborate way. The very first item is the Safeguard Shield, which we're going to buy from Damon. Now, to get here, this is the Emerald Grove, and right outside of the grove, there was a big bloody goblin fight, which you really can't avoid, and I can't pan my camera there, but you're just going to have to take my word for it. So after that big goblin fight, there's a gate that you enter into this little city here. And this is where you go to find Damon. You go northwest, you curve around over here. He's going to be right here in this camp. You just simply buy it from him. It's really cheap. It's called the Safeguard Shield. I'll show you what it looks like. And I don't know why my characters decide to run up and then walk down the ladder. That seems like a lot of work instead of just going down the stairs, but whatever. Anyway, here's Damon. Damon. Whatever. Alright, so let me see your wares, and then here is the shield. It's called the Safeguard Shield, and the reason we use this, it's a saving throw +1. It's pretty darn cheap here, 77. You know, totally got that. There we go, we got the shield, and give that to your monk. Next up is Crusher's Ring, and here's my favorite way to get to the Goblin Camp. So when you, like, we were just over here at the Emerald Grove. From there, you go west across the bridge, you go north, you jump over this little pond here, you go west. There's Joaquin's Rest. We don't go through the Blighted Village. That's stupid. That requires extra skill checks. Instead, you just take a character with, you know, a nice base level of strength. So I have Lae'zel here. She's got a nice amount of strength, so she can jump around and hop around and jump down ledges and stuff. And that's all we need, and we're going to skip the cutscene here. We're not going to worry about the Githyanki Patrol right now. So, anyway, what we're doing is, here's the Githyanki Patrol, and we're going to continue southwest. There's a broken bridge here, and you could hop up on this ledge. There we go. And the reason we go this way is not only is it faster, but it also skips skill checks to get let into the village. You don't have to deal with all the stupid crap from the Blighted Village. So there we go, there is some cutscenes, and we're just gonna skip all that. There we go. And what that just did was unlock withers. I made a whole video about that, but all you have to do is just jump down here, and now we're in the Goblin Village. You don't have to do any skill checks or anything fancy. And yeah, I'm taking a lot of damage jumping down here, but it's not gonna kill her. She'll be alright. You could climb down safely, but it's fine. We don't really need a lot of HP on Lae'zel anyway. She's strong enough as it is. So, here we are. We're now in the Goblin camp. And Crusher is going to be on the east side. He's right over here next to the Ancient Sigil, the waypoint. Could have killed him easy. Yeah. Okay, so if normally what you want to do is just talk to Crusher, intimidate him. He'll get embarrassed and go take a piss over here across the bridge. And then you just slay him for his ring. That's the normal way to do it. The advanced way is to use your strong character, use throw, click on them. Make sure you're within, like, kissing range is what they call it. So get as close as possible where your circles are intertwined. See how Lae'zel's circle is kind of within his circle? That's kissing range. So we're going to do throw. And then what I'm going to do is left click, right click really quickly to cancel the throw. So like that. Except it may take a few tries. I was a little slow there. Alright, so there we go. Now we have him kidnapped. I can move around freely wherever I want, and I have Crusher technically on my character. So all we have to do now is just take him somewhere private where no one's looking at us, and then kill him. That's all we gotta do. And so, you know, why not just go ahead and just take him over to the bridge where you would normally intimidate him, where he goes and takes a piss. And then to cancel this kidnapping mode, I'm going to push the throw button, and then right click to cancel. I'm gonna turn based mode and then just kill him. He is still alive, so he's got 1 HP. Now normally I would one-shot him. Okay, well, environment's turn. I guess he's not. This is so buggy. What's going on? All right, kill him this time.
Strange.
What is going on? It's so glitched out. Anyway, I guess we'll just beat him up. Yeah, this normally doesn't happen. But, there we go. Yeah, you normally just one-shot him. And then there's Crusher's Ring. So what this does is it's movement plus 3 meters. It's super, super useful and mega handy. You absolutely want this on your monk character so that she can run up and start slapping everyone silly. Next up is Abdirak's perma buff. So this technically isn't gear. This is a buff that you can retain throughout the whole game if you don't die. And because technically I play Shadowheart as a monk tank, it's beneficial for her to have this buff over anyone else, usually. Anyway, so you enter the Goblin Sanctuary by going, hold on, what's the direction? I'm kind of directionally stupid. By going north from the Goblin camp into the main building. Then once you've entered the building, just follow where I'm going. You're going to go into this little main area here. And then this is True Soul Gut. When you see her, you're going to turn east. And you're going to walk up the stairs. And then Abdirak is over here. And I'm just going to chug a couple potions. It's fine. Just do another little healing restore. Let's go. Alright, and what you want to do is you want to talk to Abdirak, and you want to pass some skill checks. So I'm going to talk to him, and I'm going to click, what do you mean? And then I'm going to click,
Wouldn't you agree?
let's see, it's appalling, it doesn't matter.
Forgive me, but
How did you know?
please,
And how would you do that?
my work can grant peace.
Alright, why not? You want to agree to let him flay you, and then you stand your character facing the wall here.
This will do nicely.
I'm not really perfectly facing the wall, but that's okay. So he's going to come hit us in the back. That's fine. Now, what you want to do, the easiest one to pass is performance. Don't hold back your cries. Intimidation works and performance works. If you pass this, you don't get the buff. You have to pass every single roll. Now, Lae'zel's not really the best person. You're supposed to use your monk character for this, but whatever. The reason we use performance is because it's the easiest roll to pass. And hey, astral knowledge, there we go. You know, get the Yankees for the win, right? Anyway, so he's gonna do this 2 more times. You gotta pass all of the skill checks. I'm gonna skip ahead. And here is the buff. This is called Leviatar's Love. So when you are at 30% or less HP, you gain a +2 bonus to attack rolls and wisdom saving throws for 3 turns. And then if you heal above that and then it drops back again, you get it back again. But if you die, you lose this buff forever. So you just load game. Just don't let that character be pushed off a boat or something. The Haste Helm is in the Blighted Village. So from the Goblin camp, after you get that buff, you simply go south and then east, and you'll reach the Blighted Village. You'll have to talk to the goblins, though. And here is the waypoint, and then right to the north of the waypoint, there is a chest that's right here where these crates with fish barrels are at, and there's a chest. You just smash the chest open by attacking it, and there is a haste helmet inside. The haste helmet gives you momentum for 3 turns, which means at the start of combat, you gain 1.5 meters movement speed per duration of the effect, because it's 3 turns. That would be 4.5 meters out on your first turn. Then your second turn, it's 3 meters, and then your third turn, it's 1.5, and then on the 4th turn, everything will usually be dead anyway. So, again, super, super handy. This is a must-have. Put it on your monk. The next item is the Sparkle Hands. Now, this is not where it is. This is where to go. So, from Blighted Village, after you get that haste helmet, you go south, and you're going to run into what's called the Sunlit Wetlands. This is also known as the Hag Swamp. And you're going to go south and then a bit east to where this little blip is, where it says Investigate Kaga. So I'm going to show you. We're just going to go south. And yes, there are traps all over the place. There they go. And you got to be careful, especially on honor mode. Those traps are really deadly. But you're just going to travel south until you get to, you know, some water where you can't go south anymore. Then you're going to follow the shoreline east.
Let's have a look.
And yes, everyone's bleeding and infected and having open wounds, and it's all gross. And you're going to get on these little docks here, right? And you're like, well, there's no way to jump across that. That's a huge gap. And you're right. But over here, facing east, is like a little stone area. And so you just jump over here. And then continuing south to jump over here. And this is a decently difficult fight early on. You want to be higher leveled or have a lot of good range, because it's just really annoying. These mephits continuously summon. Alright, everyone, hunker down. Don't let it see you. But in this chest is the Sparkle Hands. So you just go in there, you grab them, and then at this point forward, your Shadowheart, your monk, will never ever touch a weapon ever again. And here they are. So what this does is when you do an unarmed attack, you gain 2 lightning charges. So what this means is that when you punch someone, you gain 2 lightning charges. And here's what lightning charges do. They add damage to your attacks. And they give you a +1 to attack rolls. So, like, all the other, like, plus damage gloves and stuff in the whole game don't give you a +1 to attack rolls. They just give you additional damage, right? And this lets you hit more often. So once you start hitting, you never miss. Okay, but essentially, besides dealing additional lightning damage, which will also electrify the ground or the misty air if there's steam in the air. Once you gain 5 charges, you will deal an additional 1 to 8 lightning damage, but you also lose 1 charge per turn. But here's the thing, right? It's every time you punch. So you punch. That's your action. Then you have a bonus action, or you have a bonus attack. That's 2 punches. Now you have a +2 to attack rolls. And then you have your flurry of blows. That's 2 more punches. So again, you're just going to be stacking lightning charges super duper quickly, dealing more and more damage, and having a higher % chance to hit the more you hit. It's so stupidly broken. Like, these gloves, they carry you to the end of the game. Oh, and I forgot to mention the fact that when you have lightning charges, you have advantage on your attack rolls, because almost every opponent, besides like monsters and creatures, will be having some sort of metal armor, especially later on. Like, everybody starts wearing plate armor, okay? And, of course, you know, against constructs, you know, there's a huge construct boss in the Grimforge where this thing just gives you advantage, which means it rolls 2 dice, picks the highest number. It's so good. Next up is the Boots of Speed. So here's the cool thing about the Boots of Speed, right? On the surface of the map, there's multiple ways to get down here to the Underdark. I like to go through the Cellunite Outpost, which is in the Goblin Camp. So I'm going to show you how to get there from the Goblin Camp. So when you're at the Goblin Camp, you're going to go ahead and go into the main building, and you're going to go to Priestess Gut, where we were before. So remember this room, we went east to get that Abdirak's buff, right over here where he flayed our backs. Instead, we're going to go west this time, up these stairs, and towards the north here. And there's a doorway, but we can just hop over this little pathway. You don't have to mess with the door. This vendor gets pissy if you try to open the door. Whatever, so just jump the gap. And then there's a door here that's Priestess Quarters entrance. If you kill Priestess Gut, you can open this. If you have a lockpick character, you can obviously open this. So you open the door, and then in here there is an ogre. You can just kill her. And I just turned her into a crispy bits. Yummy. Alright, then you're going to proceed east around the loop here, proceeding north. And there is a puzzle in this room. Now there's 2 ways to solve the puzzle, okay? Well, it's already solved on this save file, but if you have a lockpick character, there's a lever here on the eastern little wall. You can pick that, it immediately opens the door. Otherwise, I'll give you the puzzle solution real quick. And here it is. If you're facing the camera north, then this would make sense. So the goal is to make all of the black circles on the southern circle. Alright, and just pause the video if you need help with this step. Anyway, moving on now. We are going to go through the doorway. This doorway opens when you solve the puzzle or you pick this lever here. Then you're going to go down this ladder, and that's going to lead you to the Cellunite Outpost, which will be this little building right here, except it'll start you at the top of the stairs. You'll start right here where this ladder is. You proceed north and then east. There's the waypoint. From here, there will be a crystal on this statue. You break the crystal, which will depower the turrets. There's a lever you can open. And then from here, you're just going to proceed north to the Myconid colony. And this is where it gets pretty simple. So you're at the Myconid colony. This is a little mushroom town. You know, not quite Mushroom Kingdom. No Super Mario. Don't sue me, Nintendo. Don't sue Power World either, please. Anyway, you're going to continue west, and there is a vendor called Dareth Bonecloak, and she has an antidote for sale. Just buy an antidote, whatever, it's fine. Then you come up here to this little mushroom thing, which is east, and there is a gnome called Thula. I think, is she a gnome? Yeah, she's a deep gnome. Deep. Anyway, talk to her. She's got something wrong with her legs, or she's poisoned, I forget. You give her the antidote, and then she will give you the Boots of Speed. So check out these bad boys. The Boots of Speed has the class action click heals. There is something amazing about clicking heals, and I'll show you right now. So let's say right now her movement speed. What is Shadowheart's movement speed on this save file? Shadowheart's movement speed is 12 meters. Okay, cool. So let's say I need to move somewhere quick. We're going to do dash. That's an action. Start combat here. We're going to dash. Now we have a bonus action. We have a bonus action called click heals. This doubles your movement speed. So right now my movement speed is 36 meters. I'm going to click heals. Now my movement speed is 72 meters. So I can run 72 meters in one turn, which is really, really far. Look how much movement speed I have in a single turn. Okay? And the cool thing also about click heals is that your movement speed is doubled. Enemies have disadvantage on opportunity attacks against you. What is an opportunity attack? So for those that don't know what an opportunity attack is, if you're in combat and you try to run by an enemy, they get to attack you as you move out of their range. But with these boots, they have disadvantage, meaning they're most likely going to miss because you are a massive, massive tank, and you're already really hard to hit. So you're even harder to hit now. You're doubly hard to hit. Next up is the Ring of Protection, and out of all the items in today's video, this is the hardest one to get. Let me just talk about the item first. So it just gives you +1 armor class and +1 saving throw, which is nice because we have +1 saving throw from the shield and +2 armor class from the shield. So it's just an extra armor. It's just more armor class. It's really nice to have. So this thing is it's kind of annoying to get. Here's how to do it. So in the Emerald Grove, remember, this is where we had that big goblin fight that's unskippable unless you have a high jump character. You go into the gate here to go into the Emerald Grove. Now, I should have said this at the very start of the video. If you're following along, I'm sorry. But when you are in the Emerald Grove, never, ever, ever, ever interact with any of the children. Do not talk to any of the tiefling children running around doing things. This messes up the entire strategy if you do. Like, there's a little tiefling kid vendor over here that has like a magic ring and okay, don't talk to him. Don't talk to any of the children. Don't just leave the kids alone. And what you're gonna do is once you first enter the Emerald Grove and you go through this stone door right over here, there is a child that has stolen, or yeah, she attempted to steal a statue. Hey, look, the statue's gone. She attempted to steal the statue, and there's a snake that's going to bite her and kill her. You absolutely have to pass the dialogue check to save that child. Alright? So, when you go in here, there's going to be a big herpaderp about, you know, a child. Save the damn kid, alright? You have to save the kid. Once you've saved the kid, you're going to talk to the kid. Her name is Arabella, and there's her parents. So you talk to her, and then again on honor mode. This is kind of hard to do, but once you've done that, you save your game. Don't talk to these kids. Then you're gonna go to Donnie over here. You're gonna talk to him, and he's going to do something where he like looks through you or away from you. He probably won't do it here on this save file. Anyway, there's an option where it's like look behind you. You're gonna use that option. And then you're gonna have to pass like some sort of check, I forget, I'm sorry. And you'll notice this concealed hatch. You'll go into the concealed hatch, and then you'll talk to the leader down here. His name is, I believe, Moni? I think his name is Moni. Yeah, or Mol, M-O-L. Is that it's actually a female, isn't it? I think this is a girl. I don't know. I can't tell. It doesn't matter. Anyway, you talk to Mol, and you ask if there's anything that he or she needs help with. And he or she wants to steal the statue. I gotta look this up. Baldurs Gate. Gate 3 Mall. Okay, is this a male or female? Let's see. It does not say. Whatever. Someone can tell me in the comments. I don't know. I don't care. Then all you got to do to steal the statue, it's really simple. All you need is fog cloud. That's all you need. It's really simple. I always have a thief character in my parties when I play. So there's gonna be a statue here. It has a big green aura, and if you touch it, it's a lot of bad news. But all you got to do is take a single character with fog cloud, which is for me is Asterion. You cast Fog Cloud right here, not on top, but down here. You enter stealth, and then you yoink the statue, and then you go to camp, and then you won't be in trouble for taking it. And then you go turn it into Maul, and he or she will give you the Ring of Protection. It's that easy. Okay, according to the wiki, it's a girl. Maul is a she. The next weapon is the Bow of the Banshee. This is something you could technically skip. It is not that important, but in the Underdark, at some point, you're going to come down here to the Underdark beach, and there is a Dwagar boat. So you're going to take the boat, and oh boy, there's toxin on the ground. Everyone's freaking out. You're going to take the boat, and when you take the boat, you're going to run into some Dwagar, a Corsair Greymon, I believe is his name. Let's see, yeah. You want to make sure that you don't push him into the water, or you lose this forever. You can kill him, or you can be on his side. It doesn't matter. If you're on his side, he takes you to Grimforge, you can buy it from him. Or you can just attack him now, and when you kill him, it's on his corpse. And this is a really annoying fight, but the fun thing is you can just use these arrows to knock people into the water like so. And there we go. Man overboard. Anyway, here's Dwagar, or I'm sorry, here's Corsair Greymon. He is a Dwagar. That's his race. Whatever. So you kill him, he drops the bow. It's that simple. Here is the bow. Again, it's nothing really special. It does inflict frightened, so that's really the only reason to have it. Most of the time, you're going to be able to reach your target and punch the heck out of them, but in rare instances where you can't, you at least have a ranged option. You will be able to shoot this twice per turn, and inflicting frightened on the target is really, really useful. There's no other ranged weapon that inflicts status that I'm not already using on other characters. Also, I don't use Karlach. This save file was for vendor exploits. The Sentinel Amulet is really, really good, especially later on once you power it up. But once you take that boat we talked about earlier, you're going to arrive in Grimforge, and then from Grimforge, my camera is like being super weird right now. You're just going to go south, just kind of south. And what you're going to do is you're going to run into this little part here. And this is like the main room. There's some lava here. There's some rubble here. You don't want to go in there. But right around here, there's like this weird golden table thing. I don't know what this is supposed to be. Just, you know, take a high jump character, jump across this little gap here to the east. And then you can climb up here, going southeast. Continuing southeast. You're going to run up to an area with 2 levers. And then just jump all the way southeast. There we go. Poor Lae'zel always breaking those ankles and popping her knee joints out of socket. But it's okay. I'm sure her knees will be just fine. I think she's the youngest character of the party. And you're just going to continue along southwest. And then you get the waypoint. Once you get the waypoint, you can warp your whole party in. Fun times, you know. There we go. The whole party is here. Then continue southwest, and there's going to be some enemies you got to beat up. So go ahead and beat up those guys real quick. They're real easy. Once the fight is over, go ahead and curve around the southeast here. Going kind of down the side. And down below, you're going to see this spooky lava elemental creature. He's totally harmless. He's just chilling in the lava. He won't hurt you. He won't aggro. He's not violent. You can totally ignore him. But down here, there's a chest, an adamantine chest. And, well, if I jump Lae'zel down there, it says it's going to kill her. So, why don't we get her topped up real quick? And to do that, I'm just going to cheat and swap the difficulty a few times. There we go. She's healed. And then we're just going to jump on down. Woo! Break those ankles. Alright. So, otherwise, you can just climb down the side here. And, you know, there's normal ways to get here. You can use Featherfall if you want. Whatever. You can use Fly. Anyway, there's a chest. I'm just going to pick it up. There we go. Just put that in your pocket. Teleport back to the waypoint. Alright, everyone's here. We're going to drop that chest on the old ground and then use your lockpick character to pop her open. It's pretty easy to pick, especially when you have a dedicated character. I mean, okay, it is a difficulty 20, but I mean, look at all these bonuses. By now, you're going to, like, I have a guide for a lockpick character. I'm going to shill it later in the video. Not right now. Anyway, once you unlock it, grab your monk character, open that chest, and inside is the Sentient Amulet, which I put Sentinel on the screen. Whoops. I'm such a professional YouTuber. Anyway.
Suddenly the metal surges with heat.
You want to use Monk Wisdom or Cleric of Shar if you are Shadowheart Wisdom. It doesn't matter. Either, number 5 or 6. And you want to win this roll. But it's pretty easy to win. If you don't win, I would load game. So what this does, I'm going to explain how this amulet works and what it does. I'm going to go ahead and equip it. There we go. And so what this amulet does is it gives you the Shatter ability, which we don't use. But if you did choose to use it, there is a chance you have to make a Wisdom saving throw of 10 to continue using the amulet without getting Maniacal Laughter, which just puts you prone on the ground. If you fail the roll, every roll forever will be 15 and higher. This amulet gives you a quest in a storyline later that upgrades in Act 3. But it's still for Act 1 and 2. It's your best in slot on your monk character. It's also best in slot in Act 3, upgraded or not, so doesn't matter. But what it has is Key Restoration. So Key is how you've been doing those bonus attacks. So you're going to restore 2 key points by using your amulet. And, well, game, it's like frozen. I can't move. Hello?
No one stopped me yet.
What is happening here? It like bugged out on me. Anyway, now we got our 2 key points back. So that's the Sentient Amulet, not Sentinel. The Adamantine Splint armor, and this one's pretty easy to get. So remember this this gap that we jumped earlier with the levers? I'm gonna show it to you again in case you skipped ahead for some reason. But okay, so we went up these stairs, and there's some levers up top, but the camera's being uncooperative. Come on. Yeah, there's 2 levers here. Okay, camera. Whatever. I know there's a mod. I don't download mods. Fuck Nexus mods. Okay? They don't allow freedom of speech and freedom of mods, so I'm never going to use that website. Screw those guys. Okay? If I want to change the flags on Spider-Man game, I'm going to do it. Anyway, you jump the gap, and there is a Splint mold heavy. You're going to pick that up. There you go. And then there is, right over here, there is a mithril ore vein, which you can just, where we were just at. You can go over there and smash that, grab the mithril ore vein. Also, from this main area, you can go down here. There's another mithril ore vein you can smash. So, I like to smash both, but you're gonna walk down here. Hello, game. Why aren't my characters moving? And we are proceeding south. All right, there we go. And here's how to work the forge. What you're gonna do, hello game, can you not load while I'm making a YouTube video? Thanks. Alright, so you're gonna put the splint mold in the mold chamber. So here it is, insert the mold, there we go. Once you have those mithril ores, you click this crucible and you insert the mold there. And then you need to lower this thing down, and once you've inserted the mithril ore, you can click this lever and it should take you down. It's gonna slam right here though. Make sure no one's standing on that, I guess. But if that doesn't work, which it should when you have something in the crucible, there is a button down here that you can shoot, and this is the platform control button. There you go. And so what's gonna happen then is it's gonna take you down, and you need to flood the area with lava to forge this thing. The first time you click this lava valve, a boss will appear out of here, and you have to fight the boss. But once you kill the boss, and after you've hit the lava valve, you hit the forge lever, so it slams the hammer down again, and if you want, you can just shoot it. You don't have to actually run over and do it. But that's going to slam this down. And that's how you kill the boss, too, by the way. It's an easy way to kill the boss. It's not the easiest or fastest way, it's just the normal way. It'll pop out the armor, which I'll show you right now. So here is the armor, and you can make 2 of these because there's 2 mithril ores. But it is a high armor class. It reduces all damage by 2. It also sends attackers reeling for 3 turns if they manage to hit you. You have disadvantage on stealth checks. Whoop-de-doo, who cares? We have a character with C invisibility anyway. And the cool thing is attackers cannot land critical hits on you. So it's just really, really good. It's not the best in slot for the whole game. It's just good for Act 1 and a good chunk of Act 2. And this is an Act 1 guide. So there you go. That's the armor. So just to recap Shadowheart, our monk here, we have Haste Helm, Adamantine Splint armor, the Sparkle Hands, Boots of Speed, Sentient Amulet, and Ring of Protection. You may be saying, well, what about the other ring? Well, remember, Crusher's Ring. I have it on my Lae'zel character to even out the move speed. But I also have Transmuter Stone here, which makes up for that. So, you know, I like my melee characters to be able to run up and punch and slash and kill. But I'm not saying you have to, you know, have other melee characters. This is purely a guide to min-max the monk character. Anyway, that's the guide. If you want to know about Act 2 and 3, you'll have to stay tuned. Those will be separate videos. It's going to be a while before I make them, though, so I'm sorry I don't have it already ready when this is ready. It's going to take time, and I've got so much going on that it's going to be a while, man, like maybe a month or 2. I'm sorry, please forgive. With that said, though, I do have other build guides. So I recommend this one. This is How to Make Astarion OP in Act 1, and I use him as a stealth archer lockpick character. Basically, if I want to solo a whole camp of one-shottable mobs like the goblins, then without ever entering combat, this is the character I use. If I want to open doors, chests, etc., This is how I do it. You can literally solo honor mode. I even showed a live stream where I beat all of Act 1 that, you know, to get all the items. Not every single quest, obviously, but basically did all the main stuff that we needed to do in like 3 hours. Solo. With that said, you may be wondering, what about your other characters? So at some point, I will make a guide about this healer character. And as far as the other one, it's just a default Lae'zel, which you don't really get many items other than this sword. I've already made a guide about how to get this sword in Act 1, and that's all she really needs. You just gave Lae'zel the sword and she's done. She's done for Act 1. She doesn't need anything else. She's a tough gal. And then, you know, for the healer support character, a lot of people get the healer thing in Act 1 wrong. Every single guy is like, oh, use these gloves that give you Blade Ward. And it's like, you don't need Blade Ward. You have Warding Bond. Why would you can't stack both, silly doofus. Anyway, that's the video. Leave a like on the video. Leave a comment with anything you want to say. And on the right side of your screen is a video you should absolutely click. And if you don't click the video on the right side right now, then animals will like you less in real life. Just a little bit, but it's enough that you'll notice. And it's a permanent debuff. You'll never get rid of it. It's going to be with you until you die. Your next life, you don't have it, okay? It doesn't transcend death. I'm not that powerful of a curse YouTuber. With that, yeah, click the video right now. Otherwise, animals are going to hate you. I'm not kidding.